Was it for you too a surprise?
Ish. I knew that I was in good shape, and my coach told me if I did X, Y, and Z, then it would be a great race for me, and hopefully I could take it. But you never know exactly what's going to happen until you actually run the race. So I was very much focused on just running the best race that I could, not worrying about what was going on around me, and then crossing the line, and then to see that I won was great.
So during the 100 meter, you didn't look at your Jamaican concurrent?
No, you can't. In 100 meters, I haven't got time to look around. As soon as you start looking around, somebody else will go past you. So I was like, let me just focus on crossing the line first, and then we'll react afterwards. So yeah.
Okay. If you have questions, well,
Do you feel like somehow you are the favorite for the 100 in Doha or so?
I don't know. I don't really think about those things. I mean, I'm definitely not the fastest woman in times this year. So, but when these, I don't know, everybody's been asking me about favourites recently over the 200 and the 100. And in track and field is a very interesting sport because like you might have somebody who's running fast and you might have somebody who's won recent races, but then you've also got people who are reigning champions, this champion, that champion, and just phenomenal athletes. And what it really does come down to is that final and making it through the routes and making sure that you execute in the moment. So as for favourites, I don't know, but it's not something that even when I was younger, I ever really thought about anyway. So.
Because of the 200 in Zurich, you were second behind Mira. She won't run the 200. Somehow your goal at the beginning of the season was to double and to gain 2 medals there. But now we think about gold.
Yeah, I mean, my aim this year was to come off the back of Berlin and make sure that I can kind of translate my performance to being one of the top athletes in the world. Because it was all good kind of doing well at Europeans and I was really happy, but you've got to take it to a different level to be able to perform well on a world-class stage, because as we all know, Europeans is great, but Worlds and Olympics, they're two different things. So that was my aim this year, and obviously I haven't seen if I've achieved that aim yet because the World Championships have not come round, but ultimately I am really happy with where I am right now. But as I always say, the World Championships is a different competition.
Did you feel during the race you were fast tonight?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I just wanted to get a good start, and this season for me, well, I'm always an athlete that things seem to come together at certain times, so I can be doing something throughout the whole season, and I just have to keep in my mind, like, it's fine. You've been training for October, it'll come together in October, so hopefully as we get close to that, I'm going to get faster, and that's been good with the last two Diamond League finals, you've seen that. But yeah, as I was in the race, I kind of got the start that I knew that I had in me all season, and I had previously been getting frustrated about because I wasn't starting how I knew I could start. So to have got that today, and then to have run the rest of my race to plan was great for me.
That was a season's best, is that right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, you said your coach said you put X, Y, and Z together. I mean, what was it that made season
We'll
best?
talk about it after World Championship.
Do you think basically you need to run even faster presumably in the race?
Yeah, well, hopefully, yeah. I mean, like, it's a World Championships. Like, it's going to be, fingers crossed, touch wood, the fastest race of the year for absolutely everybody. That's why I always say it's fantastic that you go on the Diamond League circuit and we do well. And don't get me wrong, I'm so happy to have won the final. But the championships is definitely a different competition. It's in a different climate. There's 3 rounds, and it's a different training time for everybody. And I love championships. I'm always one of those people that loves to put it all out the bag at championships, but I'm also aware that so many of the other fantastically experienced and talented women that I'm going to be competing against are also like that. So whilst I'm really happy to perform on the Diamond League season, and I'm happy to be rounding into shape, I'm very much aware that hopefully I've got a little bit more for the World Championships, but because it's the world, so does everybody else.
Just a brief idea about what you've been doing in the next 3 weeks?
Training, flying to acclimatise, getting lots of sleep in, eating well, relaxing, stress-free, boring stuff. Boring stuff that makes you run fast.
Do you know what stuff came together for you?
Well, I think it was just a timing thing. Like, it's when you just start to periodise your racing and also practice, because I traditionally tend to run more 200s than I do 100s, and last year was the first time I ever done like an international senior 100, and this year was probably the most 100 I've ever done on the circuit. So for me, I'm still getting used to running 100 meters at an elite level. So I'm normally great on my starts in the 200, but it takes a bit longer for me to get into it, the 100, just simply because I'm not as experienced over it at this level. So that's why there's so many dynamic races this year. And so by the time I hope got to the World Championships, I'd be able to perform under pressure. And I think how I performed tonight, I was really happy with that, and it goes well.
Do you think, do you consider yourself a 100 meter runner?
I consider myself a 1 and 2 girl, like a sprinter. No, but like, that's a good question. Me and my coach and I were talking about it, because you definitely have the 100 runners that do 200, you have the 200 runners that do 100, but I truly consider myself as a 1 and 2 girl. Like, I have my strengths that bode well in both. So I'm truly, I'm 1 and a 2 sprinter.
Because I know there are some athletes who, like, so for example, Geraldina's won 2 Olympic titles in the 100, but she would consider herself a better.
I know
So,
exactly.
yeah.
But I consider, but I consider myself both, which is, well, I was talking about that with my coach last week. So good question.
But do you have a favorite?
You know what? Not particularly, because it kind of depends on things. If I've had if you've missed some training and you're a little bit unfit, then the 200 is a very long way to run at a high speed. So it depends. If I've had an injury, which I haven't this year, thank goodness, then the 100 is definitely my favorite, just because it's shorter. But when I have a bit more pace in me, I love to run the 200. I love running bends. I have so much fun bending into it, and it's one of my favorite parts of the track to run around the bend. So I don't know, it depends on a lot of things. It also depends on my mood as well. I'm one of those people that sometimes I wake up and I'm like, I'm in the mood for a 2 today. So
So you enjoyed this sort of longer season because the World Championships are late? Is it?
That's a very good question. I don't know, I haven't really thought about it if I've enjoyed it or not. I've always just taken it as it is what it is, because obviously as an athlete, I try and detach my emotion from how I feel about it, because whether I like it or not, it's what you've got to do. But one thing I have liked is having the Diamond League final before the Major Championships, simply because I think we'll be in better shape, both physically and mentally, to do this kind of race before the World Championships, because when we do it afterwards, everybody's so tired and jet lagged, and everybody's like, okay, and we do one last race. So it's great having it beforehand, because I think you get, hopefully as you've seen tonight, some really high caliber races and more high profile people showing up, because it's all part of their season.
Was it your last race before that?
Yeah, this is my last race before the Worlds.
Did you feel it was cold tonight?
Yeah, but I'm British, so it's okay. So it was cold, but I was like, today's the day, Dina. This is when finally training in England and London for the whole year is going to work out, and it did. Yeah.
How do you feel to be one of the most popular women in the UK?
Me? I hadn't really thought about it, if I'm being honest. I don't think, thank you, but I don't really think of myself like that. I just kind of keep doing me. It's nice if people like me, but, and it's nice, don't get me wrong, it's very, very nice, but you sometimes with these things, particularly with social media and everything, people's opinions can change quite frequently. So I always just try and not pay attention to whatever everybody's opinions, even if it's great and everybody's really nice. I kind of just try and always do me, because for whatever reason, if their opinion changes for something that I may not have even done, you never know. But if their opinion never changes, I've still got to have my own self-esteem and self-worth, and I've got to be happy within myself. So whilst it's really cool, I guess, I'm not sure if I am, but it's really cool, but I don't think about things like that. I just always try and run fast with a smile on my face.
I come from Italy. Your name is Italian. Dina is.
Yeah, my mom. I'm named after my mom's best friend. My full name is Geraldina, and my mom's best friend, her name is Geraldina, and she's Italian. So my name's Italian. Named after my mom's best friend.
Have you noticed much difference in terms of the attention that's on you, Dina? And obviously, last year has been an amazing year for you.